like to thank everybody for coming this evening. Tonight's board meeting is a little bit different because every year we have to reorganize. And what that means is we elect a new president, vice president, and secretary for the board. So that's why I open the meeting. Normally the president would do that. And you know, sometimes the board president will serve for a year, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 3 years. It just depends. So, and so tonight I open the meeting. We'll elect officers and do some other things, and then we'll get to the fun stuff, the student of the month. To explain the student of the month process, the principal will get up and say all these wonderful things about the student. When they're done, the student will go back to the Hornet. We'll take a cameo shot, Robin will take a picture, and then we invite the parent, the grandparent, the long-lost brother on the mother's side, and whoever's tied to the student come back, and we'll take a kind of a family picture. Then at the end, we're going to do something new tonight. We're going to ask all 6 student of the months to come and have their picture taken together so we can get on the website. So that's kind of our procedure for tonight. So the first order of business I'll throw out and call for nominations for president of the school board.
Shouldn't we be
Oh, I am so sorry. That's item number 2 right there. Thank you very much, Robin. So I'm going to back up 3 steps and
will all the newly elected members come forward, please? If you'll all raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
Jarvis,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana
and
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
and the laws of the United States and the States of Indiana.
I will faithfully execute the duties of my office
I will faithfully execute the duties of my office
as a member of this governing body,
as a member of this governing body.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
And so you know how our school board is set up, we have 7 school board members, and every 2 years there's an election. And so this past fall there was an election. There were 4 positions up. We had 7 or 8 great candidates. I think we had 8 great candidates, and these were the top 4 vote getters. And then 2 years from now, we'll have an election, and there'll be 3 positions open of the 3 board members that were seated here. So now, since I was jumping ahead on the agenda, I will call for nominations for president.
I will nominate Janice King to serve as president of the Board of School Trustees.
We have a nomination for Janice. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Nancy Mobley.
Okay, we have 2 nominations. Any other nominations?
I'll make a motion to close the nominations for president.
Okay, we have a motion to close the nomination for president.
I'll second that.
We have a second. We'll go with the first nomination, which was Janice. All those in favor of appointing Janice King as the school board president for the 2013 calendar year signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mike, I didn't hear any. Okay, so we have 5 in favor. Those opposed, like sign. Based on that, Janice is appointed as board president. Nancy, is that okay with you?
It's fine, I think.
Okay, and then I get the pleasure of turning the meeting over to the board president, and now we'll take the same process for vice president and secretary. And I'll make a general comment, then I'll be quiet for a little bit. If people knew how hard these 7 people work, Mike was appointed this past year, and when Melody moved off the board, it's a lot of hours. In fact, Rick Skirvin is being Skyped in. Rick is out of state with a business, and so we actually Skype Rick in the many times he can't be here, and they get a very thick packet of stuff downloaded to their laptop. It takes a lot of hard work to be a school board member, and you take a lot of positives like tonight, and then sometimes you take a lot of grief. So with that, I'll turn it over to Madam President.
Okay, so now we need to have nominations for vice president and secretary, but let's do vice president first.
I would nominate Tim Luttrell.
Any other nominations? Would anyone like to close those nominations?
I'll close the nominations.
Nancy,
That was second.
second. Tammy? All in favor of Tim being vice president?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then we need to take nominations for secretary.
I would nominate Nancy Mobley to serve as secretary.
Who would like to second that nomination?
I'll
Oh,
second.
should I ask for other, I'm
Yes.
sorry, is there any other nominations for secretary before we close?
I'll make a motion to close the nominations for secretary.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, now we need to make a motion to approve the reorganization agenda and resolution of Beech Grove School Board. Who would like to do that?
I'll make the motion.
Tammy, thanks. Who would like to second that, please?
I'll second.
Nancy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now with the fun stuff, it's time for Student of the Month, right?
Correct.
Student of the Month.
Well, good evening, everyone, and we're delighted to be able to share with you some of our greatest sources of pride, and those are our Students of the Month. And so I'm proud to get that kicked off with Hornet Park Student of the Month. This evening, I would like to recognize Grace Lacey. So Grace, would you come up and join me, please? And as Grace is making her way up, I'll read some sweet words from a few of her teachers. From Miss Bentley, she says, you can come up. That's all right, isn't it? She is always setting a great example for other students by following the rules. She's sweet to adults and her peers no matter what. She's sensitive to others' feelings, and she's very loyal to her mammy, who she talks and writes about often. Grace always tries her best on her assignments, and she listens attentively at all times. From Mrs. Sutton, she says, Grace is such a wonderful young lady who has a very sweet soul. She is gentle, kind, and always willing to tackle new challenges. She's a student that I know I can always count on to be positive, helpful, and a great role model. She is an extreme pleasure to have in class. Now I have a whole sheet, but also, as I was walking out the door this afternoon, a teacher flagged me down with a Post-it. So I'd already printed my nice document. She's like, oh, I have words about Gracie. So this little Post-it, which I'll give to you too, says, Grace is a wonderful, sweet little girl. I have the pleasure of starting and ending my day with Grace, and it always makes me smile. Grace is always doing the right thing, and she's definitely one of our most special Hornets. That's Mrs. Jennings. So I'm proud to present to you this evening, Miss Grace Lacey.
Mr. Buckler, Central Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to introduce Central's November Student of the Month, and it is Miss Taylor Wills. Taylor, you want to come on over? Taylor is a second grader in Mr. Sutton's class, and Mr. Sutton's here in the audience tonight. He describes her as a hardworking, conscientious, and respectful student. She gives her personal best no matter how difficult the task. She is a great role model for her peers in the classroom and the other students throughout the school. Mrs. Wiesjohn, our applied technology teacher, says Taylor is an active listener who participates well in class. She enjoys seeing her each week. Mrs. Eder, our music teacher, is pleased that Taylor is quiet and attentive in class. She works very hard on the tasks presented during music class. I am very pleased to present Taylor Wills, our November Student of the Month.
Mrs. Reed, South Grove Intermediate School.
Good evening, and I would like for Levi Miller to come up. I would like to introduce Levi Miller as South Grove Student of the Month. Levi is a 6th grader and is the son of Chris and Memory Miller. Mrs. Johnson, Levi's 4th grade teacher, said that Levi always came to class ready to learn. Levi continues to come to visit her to get help with picking out AR books. This shows his motivation and dedication to reading and to becoming a better reader. Mr. Von Dilligan, Levi's 6th grade teacher, says that Levi is well-behaved, responsible, and hardworking. He continues to lead by example and is a great model for all students to follow. Ms. Walker, Levi's other 6th grade teacher, says that Levi is a great participator in class. He always gives 100% and treats others with kindness and respect. He is always challenging himself to improve and is constantly striving to do his best. His positive attitude will take him far. Levi Miller is an all-around great citizen and the perfect example of an ideal South Grove student. Congratulations.
Mr. Gerhard, Beech Grove Middle School.
Beech Grove Middle School's first student of the month is Cassie Chambers. Want to come on up? Many teachers agree that Cassie has an infectious smile and personality. She lights up the room when she walks in and is such a pleasure to be around. Although she seems very shy at first, once you get her to open up and have a conversation with you, she has a great sense of humor. Furthermore, all of Cassie's teachers feel her willingness to learn and go above and beyond what is asked of her makes her a star student. Mr. Mann, Cassie's math teacher, had this to say about her. Cassie's a wonderful student to have in math class. Her dedication and hard work make it a pleasure to work with her on a daily basis. In addition, Cassie has such a positive influence on others around her, including me. When she smiles, everyone smiles. It is contagious. Cassie had a great attitude during class. She took leadership roles in group projects and helped organize the group to complete tasks. She was competent in her presentations and always willing to help others in class. Cassie exhibited a great work ethic and contributed to classroom discussions. And those are thoughts from Mr. Lawton, her applied science teacher. Mrs. Slavin says that she is polite, kind, and well-mannered. She has a great smile and a pleasant attitude. She works very hard and is always a wonderful addition to our class. To conclude these wonderful remarks about Cassie, this is what Ms. Tingle, Cassie's arts teacher, has to say about her. I just know art had to be one of her favorite classes. She's so creative and was always inquisitive, wanting to learn new painting and drawing techniques to use in her sketchbook. She is not only an amazingly creative young lady, but she is a joy to have in class. She always has a smile on her face, whether it is in the art room or in the cafeteria during lunch. She has a great personality with an eagerness to learn new tasks. Her artwork was always created with precision. She especially paid attention to details that made her work stand out among the other students. She completed her work before the due dates, which allowed her to create numerous projects in her sketchbook, as well as learn new techniques and other creative tools to enhance her own learning and originality. Cassie is a wonderfully creative student, and I'm glad I will have the ability to cultivate her art skills next year. Congratulations.
Mr. Cox, Beech Grove High School.
It's my pleasure to introduce you to Emily Barton. Come on up, Emily. Emily is the daughter of Ross and Jennifer Barton. Emily ranks 8th in her class right now. She's a junior. She has a GPA out of 4, a 3.98. Some of the school activities that Emily's involved in, she's involved in band. She also works with percussion students at the middle school for us. Spanish club, she's in the Spanish Honor Society, the academic team, and the Science Olympiad team, so you can see she's a pretty busy young lady. One of her accomplishments that we're very proud of is Emily had the highest NWEA reading score in the entire high school this first semester administration. She's in the 97th percentile in the nation. So congratulations on that. One of our faculty members, Mr. Wynn, says Emily has a great attitude, is very musically talented, never misses a rehearsal, and is a fantastic leader for our ensembles. Emily plays the bass guitar, the oboe, the marimba, and excels in all three. She has always had great grades in band, and she is an overall great kid. Her future plans are to win a state championship with our band here at Beech Grove High School, and then go to Indiana University and concentrate on a career in the field of music. Emily Barton.
Mrs. Gildner, Hornet Richmond Academy.
We would like to recognize Brooke Cobb as our November Student of the Month. Brooke is a sophomore at the Hornet and Richmond Academy, and she's the daughter of Troy and Melissa Cobb. We are proud to recognize Brooke as our Student of the Month. Brooke has been a very successful student at the HEA. She completed a successful first semester with perfect attendance, with no absences or tardies. Brooke maintains a positive and respectful attitude with staff and students. She easily collaborates well with others and takes part in our many activities. Staff at the HEA had many positive things to say about Brooke. Mr. Crook stated that she is a pleasure to work with and has a fantastic sense of humor. She arrives each morning with a smile on her face. Mr. Land stated that she has worked diligently on her many history projects that he has assigned. Mrs. Condon described Brooke as a very cooperative student. She gets along well with others and noticed that she takes initiative each morning. Brooke has been an active participant in our service learning projects and in our other community projects, particularly in the fall and with Servant's Heart. It is our pleasure to recognize Brooke as the Student of the Month at the Hornet and Richmond Academy, and we look forward to her many continued successes with us.
Okay, we'll now recognize the December Students of the Month. We'll start with the Hornet and Richmond Academy.
We'd like to recognize Brianna McElwain. She would like to come up here. Stand right here. Okay. Brianna is our December Student of the Month at the Hornet and Richmond Academy. Bree started as a part-time student and then moved to full-time during the semester. She has worked really hard to progress academically and has demonstrated her commitment to both personal and academic growth. Bree has put forth much effort this semester to step out of her comfort zone, and we are proud of her willingness to do so. She has worked with Mrs. Condon on a Servant's Heart project and many other service learning projects. Bree has worked hard to achieve the personal goals she has set for herself academically during first semester. When faced with challenges, Bree has demonstrated growth through the positive choices she has made for herself and others. The HEA staff is very proud of her improvement this semester, and we look forward to her continued success.
Okay, Beech Grove High School.
Our second Student of the Month is Megan McNulty. Come on up, Megan. When we started the school year, Megan ranked second in the class, our senior class, at 4.13 GPA. We haven't done class ranking for this semester yet, so that may go up, we hope, you never know. Activities that Megan's been involved in: she's a member of the leadership team for the National Honor Society, the Spanish Honor Society. She's in the Color Guard, the Spanish Club, the International Club. She's the vice president. She's on the academic team, the Science Olympiad team, the Quill and Scroll. She's an ardent mentor, and she's in the concert band. I don't think there's anything else that we offer that you don't do. She's also is a volunteer for Fox Cities Marathon in Servant's Heart, and also the HOBY and after-school tutoring as well. Some of the faculty comments: Mr. Weller said, "Megan is especially mature and resourceful for a woman of her age. While Megan is extremely gifted, I feel her greatest strengths are her work ethic and attention to detail. When assigned a task of any kind, she will leave no stone unturned to complete the task to the best of her ability." Also, Mr. Hurley said, "Megan's character is beyond reproach, and her quest for excellence is impeccable. Aside from these characteristics, perhaps Megan's most transcendent attribute is that she is at all times role models and demonstrates those character qualities that personify a highly successful young person." Her future plans are to go into pre-pharmacy program at Butler University. Megan McNulty.
Beech Grove Middle School.
Our second student of the month is Ethan Smiley. So if you can come up, Ethan. Beech Grove Middle School's REACH team teachers are proud to nominate Ethan Smiley as this month's Student of the Month. Ethan is truly a student athlete. Defying the odds, Ethan wrestled a perfect season in the 6th grade. Not only was Ethan undefeated, he also never lost a point in a match. Ethan is dedicated to his sport and works year-round to hone the athletic skills needed to excel in wrestling. He is a humble young man and a leader on the middle school wrestling team. His academic success rivals Ethan's athletic achievements. Ethan is an honor roll student who is steadfast about studying and engaged in his learning, an active participant in classroom discussions. Ethan thinks critically about the topic at hand and adds insightful commentary when appropriate. While Ethan's athletic and academic successes are commendable and worthy of praise, his character is what others note most often when encountering Ethan. Ethan is quiet and reserved, but always has a sincere smile on his face. He is kind to everyone every day. Ethan Smiley's positive demeanor and strong work ethic in the classroom and on the wrestling mat are an example for all Beech Grove City School Hornets. He is an amazing young man, and we are honored to have him on our team. Congratulations.
I want to congratulate Emily Lee as South Grove Student of the Month. Emily is a 6th grader, and she is the daughter of Jeffrey and Valerie Lee. Emily's 4th grade teachers, Mrs. Mann and Mrs. Mitchell, say that she is a gracious, caring, and helpful soul. Even though she is very bright naturally, she doesn't take that for granted. Instead, she strives for even more knowledge and educational growth. She sets high standards for herself and pursues her goals. Mrs. Mann said she would be honored to have a daughter just like Emily. Miss McCarthy, Emily's 6th grade teacher, says that Emily is a student that displays diligence in her academics. She is always prompt and ready to take initiative for her learning and success. She is so well organized that she naturally is a model for her peers. She has a heart of gold. Miss McCarthy often sees her checking in on her friends and classmates to make sure they are well prepared and confident in their schoolwork. She is a delight to have in class. And finally, Mrs. Collinsworth chose Emily to be part of the Geek Squad because she is an outstanding student and leader. She is one of the lead geeks, which help with the delivery and care of technology around school. Emily was part of the Girls on the Run group this fall, She's an outstanding role model for the 4th and 5th grade girls because she exemplifies leadership, responsibility, and kindness towards everyone. Her character and integrity will carry her far in school and in life. Congratulations, Emily Lee.
Central Elementary School.
Jalen Snyder is our December Student of the Month, so come on over, Jalen. Jalen is a 3rd grader in Miss Cotter's classroom. However, he was nominated for Student of the Month by Mrs. Lawson, and she states that Jalen comes to the title each day ready to learn. He is making great gains. Jalen is always on task, participates, and tries his best. He is a joy to work with. Ms. Cotter is pleased with the wonderful effort and incredible growth he has made this school year. His NWA reading score improved by 26 RIT points from fall to winter, which is amazing. Fantastic. His positive attitude and hard work are very much appreciated. Finally, our music teacher, Mrs. Etter, says Jalen is helpful in class and sets a good example for the other students. It is my pleasure to introduce Jalen Snyder, our December Student of the Month.
Boynton Park Elementary School.
Good evening. I would like to introduce Antonio Perez. So Antonio, will you come on down? And I must start by saying that Antonio was nominated by 2 different teachers in the same month. So he's a real rock star with regards to Student of the Month. Mrs. Copenhaver stated that Antonio is a kind and considerate student. He works very hard to do his best at all times. He always has a positive attitude, and he often offers help to children around the classroom. Mrs. Sutton, have you noticed that she always has the nicest things to say? Antonio is such a bright spot in my day. He is always so kind and polite and ready with a smile. He's the first one each morning to give me a hug, and again at dismissal, and he wishes me a great evening. I can always count on him to be a leader and an amazing example for his peers. He exemplifies one of the reasons why I chose to become a teacher. From Mrs. Wiesjohn, she says Antonio is always well behaved in class. He's a social leader, and he gets along well with all of his classmates. And to Mrs. Etter, this was her first time having a nominated student, like someone she nominated, get the award. So actually I didn't put it on here, but the beginning of her email said, "Woot woot, my nominee got it." Says he's such a great kid. He's very sweet, and he gets very excited to come to class and to participate. He sets a good example for the other students wherever I see him. So we're proud to present Antonio Perez, Student of the Month.
I'm Melody Stevens, Community Relations Director for Beech Grove City Schools, and we have the privilege of presenting a first time ever award at this meeting. It's called the Hornet Service Award, and the Hornet Service Award was initiated to recognize members of our Beech Grove community who often work mostly behind the scenes or without much fanfare to accomplish great things to benefit the students at Beech Grove City Schools. I want to read the words on the plaque of each of them. From the smallest project to the largest undertaking, you were always there to see it through. In grateful appreciation for your outstanding and dedicated service to our schools and community, teaching us, inspiring us, encouraging, and challenging us. Thank you. And then there's a wonderful quote by Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. I am very, very proud that we're going to present our first Hornet Service Awards to 3 wonderful individuals this evening. To Mr. Bruce By, Mrs. Betty Collins, and to the family of Jim Hensley. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Steve Cox first. We're going to go in alphabetical order because there's no way that we could rank these 3.
So alphabetical order, Mr. Steve Cox will present to Mr. Bruce Pye.
So Bruce, you get to come up here. Just like the student. We'll look right into the camera. Bruce is a husband, a father, a veteran, a business professional, community service leader, philanthropist, and a dreamer. All of these titles appropriately fit when you're describing Bruce Pye. Bruce is a 36-year-old resident of Beech Grove, has been married to his wonderful wife, Elsa, for 44 years. They have 2 children, Leanne and Kent, and both of them are proud graduates of Beech Grove High School. Bruce proudly served in the U.S. Army for 3 years, one of which was in Vietnam. Bruce started his career in Indiana with the Indiana Farm Bureau Co-op, where for 7 years he served as the manager of economics and marketing research. Bruce then began a career at Elanco, the agricultural division for Eli Lilly and Company, where he served for 28 years. His responsibilities at Elanco included marketing research for beef and dairy animal health products on a global basis. Bruce's community service includes member of the Beech Grove Lions Club, past president of the Bethany Lutheran Church Council, and current financial committee chairmanship, past member of the Beech Grove Middle School PTA board, past coach for the Beech Grove Senior League 1990 championship baseball team, past president for the Beech Grove Band Parents, where during his first term he coordinated the donations of $30,000 for the band competition seasons and expenses, and also planned to or did buy new band uniforms. He's a co-founder of the Beech Grove Educational Foundation, along with Jim Hensley and Jerry King. He's a past member of the Beech Grove Educational Foundation, a past member of the City of Beech Grove Board of Works, where he served for 8 years. For the last 14 years, he and Elsa have sponsored the By Family Scholarship Athlete Award. This award program recognizes the top 10 scholar athletes in each of the 4 classes, and also provides a $2,000 scholarship for both the top senior female and top male scholar athlete at Beech Grove High School each spring. And as a dreamer, Bruce dreams big. In September of 2011, Bruce offered to help Dr. Kaiser begin the Applied Science / Agricultural Educational Program at Beech Grove City Schools. In mid-January of that year, of 2012, Bruce identified and recruited 13 different professionals from outside Beech Grove to be key resources for the program, and held the first planning meeting. And for 4 weeks, Bruce worked closely with myself and then the principal at the middle school, Mr. Gerhardt, and the guidance counselors, Donna Hurt, Karen Matthews, and Kathy Lowe at the high school, to identify the best ways to present the opportunities and benefits of these new programs to our students. In addition, Bruce assisted with the development of job descriptions for all 3 of the new agricultural educational teachers. And on June 2nd of this past summer, 2012, Beech Grove City Schools broke ground for the new Science Academy wing. And on November 13th, a ribbon cutting and open house was held to celebrate the new space for our students. It is with great pride and admiration, as well as an honor, that we introduce you Mr. Bruce Pye, who received this award.
Mrs. Erin Probus, Principal of Hornet Park Elementary, will make that presentation.
And what a pleasure this is for me. When Dr. Kaiser asked me to do this, I said, oh, I would be honored to, but as long as I don't mess anything up. So, Betty, what a privilege. Okay, Betty Collins is a lifetime resident of Beech Grove, and she graduated from Beech Grove High School in 1940. Betty was married to Clayton, who passed away in 1991. Clayton was president of the Beech Grove School Board when the present high school was built. Betty has 2 children, Kit, who is presently serving as our Director of Instruction at Beech Grove City Schools, and Claudia Allen, who lives in Clearwater, Florida. Kit and his wife Ann are residents of Beech Grove, and both of her children are Beech Grove High School graduates. Betty also has 3 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. During World War II, Betty served as a United States WAVE for 2.5 years. She attended and received 3 degrees from Butler University. She taught at IPS for 6 years at both the high school and the elementary school levels. She served as a teacher at Central Elementary School in Beech Grove for 16 years and taught at the University of Indianapolis for 20 years. Now this is the sentence I've been practicing. Betty is a past president of Alpha Chi Delta Kappa Gamma and Phi Delta Kappa, Indiana Association for Teacher Education, and Beech Grove Teachers Association. She also has served as a past vice president of the Indiana State Teachers Association. Betty has, of course, not surprisingly, received numerous awards throughout her career, including Educator of the Year from the Association of Teacher Educators, Educator of the Year from Phi Delta Kappa, and she has been inducted into the Teacher Education Hall of Fame, the Beech Grove High School Hall of Fame, and was named as a Beech Grove Alumni of the Year. I get to stand by her. Betty's community activities include serving as president and treasurer of Tri Kappa, adult Sunday school teacher at Beech Grove United Methodist Church, chairman of the Beech Grove Zoning Board, treasurer of the United Methodist Women's Group, vice president of the Beech Grove Retired Teachers, and corresponding secretary for the Beech Grove Alumni Association. Betty now volunteers at least 4 days a week at good old Hornet Park. She has been volunteering since 1992. And these are some things I wanted to add about Betty as well. It's kind of odd to read a quote of yourself. So, you know, we're just coming off of the Christmas and holiday season where a major, or, you know, a significant part for our families is giving and receiving gifts. And I must say that Betty is a continual gift to Hornet Park Elementary students and to staff. You know, she's a committed volunteer. She is a beloved Hornet Park family member. She comes to school and lovingly serves our students and our staff. And we as a school, as you know, are absolutely committed to building strong readers. And Betty, she is one of the major factors in this process. She instills a love of reading for our students by assisting them in the accelerated reader process, which many of you may be familiar with. We have been experiencing increased student participation and ultimately improved reading ability. And I believe this is a fruit of Betty's labor of love. Additionally, she is a key player in our NWEA assessment process. She proctors many of our student tests. She also provides support to teachers in understanding the reporting process and the management of these assessments. Aside from these, the gift of her joyful heart and her sweet smile are just that sparkly ribbon on top. She's a special Hornet, and the students and staff at Hornet Park love and appreciate Mrs. Betty Collins. It is my pleasure to introduce Betty Collins as Hornet Service Award honoree. Betty.
I have the honor of announcing our third recipient, and that's Mr. Jim Hensley. Jim was a loving husband, father, and grandfather, and a dream school board member. Not only did he aptly fill the role of school board member, he reached out to serve in any way that would be helpful to his community, Beech Grove. We lost a true dedicated citizen. We lost Jim on February 17, 2011. Jim not only served on the Beech Grove School Board for many years, he also served as president of the C9 Career Center Board. Jim took great pride in showcasing the C9 program and the impact on students attending. Jim was passionate about school board members understanding their roles, ensuring that every school board member was out for every student, always reminding fellow board members why they were there, and keeping Beech Grove students the main focus when decisions were made. Jim was always in the Beech Grove Schools buildings. Many times community members would wonder if Jim had cloned himself because he was present at so many events and activities. He loved attending the sporting events for all the schools, where he would tell you all the best plays that were made, in addition to the score and given during a game to read to elementary students, play the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus for school students, but never wanted them to know it was him. He attended science fairs, art shows, and he loved the art show over at Hornet Park. Achievement Awards nights, graduation, any event in any school where students were being recognized or rewarded. Jim was there. Although outgoing or even mentioning it many times, the breadth of what he did was only come to light when a principal or teacher would mention that Jim was here. Jim was one of the founders, along with fellow recipient Bruce By, of the Beech Grove Education Foundation. What started as a vehicle to raise money for band uniforms is now 17 years later, a vibrant, growing foundation that serves all the students and teachers of Beech Grove City Schools through scholarships, teachers' grants, and programs. Jim's vision fueled the flame of the foundation and shares the responsibility for the good work of the foundation today that Melody Stevens has the opportunity to lead. Jim served as a founding member of the Hornet Athletic Club. He was a member of the American Legion, my baseball coach, Beech Grove JCs, chairman of the elders of his church, was a 2011 inductee into the Beech Grove Little League Hall of Fame, and in December 2012, the Beech Grove High School baseball field was named in his honor. It is now the Jim Hensley Field of Dreams, and our signs here in the back room. Jim loved Beech Grove City Schools, and he loved the community. This evening, I would like to present the award to Jim's wife, Judy Hensley.
What else could we say, Judy? Thank you.
Okay, so this is a really great portion of our meeting this evening, and now we have some business things, and then we get to go home, and you guys get to take your fabulous awards and go someplace special. We need to get a motion to approve the November 13th regular meeting and the December 11th special session minutes.
I move we approve the corrected minutes of the December 13th regular meeting and the December 11th special session minutes as presented.
Thank you, Beth.
I'll second that.
Tim? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have no claims this month. I don't believe we have anybody here to make public comment. Jim, so we'll move on. Personnel. Dr. Keatley. Hi, how are you?
Outstanding, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good, thank you. Personnel, I do want to take some time just to mention a couple of people because they mean a lot to our school system. And I think I can name the third one, right, Mr. Gerhardt?
Yes.
Okay. We had 3 veteran teachers, outstanding teachers, decide that part of the recommendation and our offer for incentive to go into retirement, and they went in and took that advantage of that halfway here through the year. So Mr. Jerry Lance is in there, Mr. Mike Cahill, and Ms. Janelle Watson are retiring from our school system. And so 2 high school teachers and a middle school reading teacher, English teacher. We will honor them at the end of the year. So we will ask them to come back and we'll say some nice things. Each of the building principals has an opportunity to do that at that time. But I thought it was really important anytime we have a resignation like that of people who've taught for 30+ years and they're in good standing and doing an outstanding job. I just feel like it's necessary to make sure that you know firsthand that that's happened and don't just put it in a board report to you. And then the personnel report actually just has those people, kind of the replacements for those in there. So I can answer any questions if you want to about personnel outside of that. If you have any, I did send the information late last week.
Any questions from anyone regarding personnel? Could somebody please make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the employment recommendations.
I'll second it.
Nancy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then we need to talk about a conflict of interest statement. Do we need to talk about that? We probably should. Just say a little bit about it.
Okay, anytime, State Board of Accounts and the state of Indiana has a law that anytime there may be some kind of a conflict of a new board member, or anybody who might have a scenario where you might have financial gain, but in connection with a board position, or even an administrator who might do some other business to the side, that it does kind of overlap with the school system, then they're required to fill out paperwork like that. And so conflict of interest statement should be attached. Am I correct on that? And so if you have any questions on that, I guess we can both answer those. To be quite honest with you, it's an absolute just transparency vehicle. We put it out there, put it on file, and do it on purpose.
Anybody have any questions?
I move we approve the conflict of interest statement for Tammy Story.
Yeah?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then we move on to other business, and Dr. Kaiser, you need to talk about changes for the balanced school year calendar?
Yeah, we're in our second, we're just really in the middle of our first year on balanced calendar. And just so you know that Wayne Township, Decatur Township, and us, Perry, we're on balanced calendar this year. Next year, what really works well is all the schools, Franklin, Beech Grove, Decatur, and Wayne, not as much as Wayne is important, we all just have the same intercession dates, which is real positive. And I know myself, on a personal basis, it was really nice. Even though my daughter played, first week had volleyball, and the second week she had basketball, so we didn't have much vacation, but I did have a little downtime and be able to take some half days. And I want to read some of the comments the teachers made. Our calendar team, they're the ones that worked on this, and after the first intercession we met and said, okay, give us the pluses and give us the, what we call deltas and areas of concern. And here are some general comments. It was just great to have 2 weeks off for students and teachers. It was really good for our Buzz Club. Our Buzz Club is our after-school mediation program. Well, the first week the Buzz Club met throughout that week, and it was really good for those kids. We really thought there was going to be an issue. Well, what if you have a different break than your kids if you live in another district? A lot of our teachers said that was really good because they could go visit their kids' school. And they've never been able to do that because we're always in school at the same time. It was an opportunity to recharge. It gave teachers an opportunity to expand interests if they choose. Some of our teachers taught some enrichment activities. Leanne Blazer, I think, took kids to Terre Haute to the Holocaust Museum. We had a college visit to Vincennes, and we really hope to expand that college visitation, especially during the fall. That's real critical. And so next year we want to really gear up more for that. It was a great opportunity for small groups for instruction. We offered credit rescue at the high school. So if you had a 55% at the end of the 9 weeks, you could come in and try to make that up. Why is it only 55%? We found out if you're below a 55%, you pretty much can't get that made up in a week. So if you were 55% up to 70, you could come in and work to get that grade to a passing grade. And we had a lot of kids that did that, especially at the high school. A lot of enrichment, time refreshing for having parent-teacher conferences, intercessions, time off to travel. I know some of our teachers took off, went to wild, exotic places. I drove back from my house to here every day. One of these days when my kids graduate and are off in college, my wife and I will probably take off during intercession. But just they enjoyed the break. Credit rescue was really good the first week. Some people thought the break was long enough. IPS goes a 3-week intercession. Some schools only go a week in the fall, then they go 2 weeks in the spring, and vice versa. So different schools do it different ways. I thought teachers and students were ready to come back. A couple just Delta things we can improve. Getting more kids to attend the Buzz Club. We invited some kids and they didn't come, and we did transport. For some of our classified staff, there's an issue that they have 2 weeks off without pay, even though they can put money in the credit union. We want to work on that. Actually, that came up in the board forum. So we're going to meet with the bus drivers and talk about that, about having their pay carry over and get some feedback from them. That was an issue that came up. But overall, it was good. Transportation was a little bit of a hassle just because you're just trying to get every kid organized and find out where they live because you never know who's going to show up. But overall, it was really positive. I heard some people say, well, you start so early in August. Well, I think people need to understand with the calendar, we have 10 kids at band, middle school and high school combined. August 1st, they're already back working full-time. They're at band camp. My daughter starts volleyball August 1st, and a lot of our parents and kids are ready to come back. We still have 5 weeks off in the summer for vacation, which is really good. But, you know, it's not perfect. You know, I've had some parents say, well, I don't like it. I've had a lot of parents, they love it. So we'll evaluate it this year and next year and see if we want to continue beyond this year. But those are some calendar team feedback I got. I just thought I'd share that.
Well, one comment that I had too from our department, it was great to get a lot of custodial and maintenance projects completed with the buildings empty. And we got a lot accomplished, and also in this past the winter session.
Yeah.
So that's something that's good.
Yeah, it's not a perfect schedule, but again, I think it provides a lot of opportunities for our parents. And again, I had a lot of parents said it was great to just be home with their kids. And the YMCA did offer daycare at a very affordable cost. So if you had to work, it was provided here for them. And the key thing is, I think we need to really work hard within our financial means to expand the enrichment opportunities, especially for the younger kids, just taking field trips. I had one of our employees ask me about summer school and things like that, so I got some information to her. And next summer for the Buzz Club, we're going to go 3 weeks, but 5 days a week, and every Friday is going to be a field trip. And what's really good about Buzz Club, that's our after-school program, kids now can eat breakfast in the morning, lunch at school, and dinner. You know, we're going to start serving dinner to those kids on Buzz Club, and it's all reimbursed through our free and reduced lunch program. So that's real exciting. So during the summer, for those 3 weeks when they're here all day long, they'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then the parents can pick them up. It was kind of an inconvenience sometimes for parents, even though we bust them home. That half day made it difficult. So we've really made some of those adjustments, and again, we're really open to suggestions moving forward and see what we can do. So that's kind of a summary of the information feedback from the teachers. After the second intersession, or the second thing of spring, we are going to survey parents. We'll put a survey monkey out there and really try to get some more feedback. We thought it would take 2 intersessions and 2 times off to really get a solid feedback. So we want their input and make sure we have the support moving forward with it.
I know I didn't know going into it whether I would be in favor or not in favor. And as Dr. Kaiser said, and some other school employees, being on a different calendar than Beech Grove's calendar was, it was also refreshing in that way that even though I wasn't completely withdrawn for 2 weeks from my own kids that I have, it was refreshing because you didn't have all the commotion of all of them. So it was it just seems like we've been doing it for a long time. I don't know how we got by all these years without having a fall intersession. So those 2 weeks, it seemed like they were ready to have that, even though they only started a few days early, because no matter what, it's 180 days that they're going to go to school. It's just the difference of, you know, when some of those days happen to be off, and as it not having the same schedule, it's refreshing not having the same schedule as well.
And I think it's good that the whole south side now we're kind of laned up. So if you work in Beech Grove, but you live in Decatur or someplace else, it aligns at least the intersections and the breaks are off.
Kind of like it not.
Yeah, some like it not, but it wasn't intentional. We did talk about it, but it did line up. And a special thanks to Robin, because she did all the research with all the schools and put the calendar together. So you approved it once, but we found a typo that I didn't check, I didn't catch. So to be official, we wanted to come back and ask for a motion and approval for the second go around.
I would move that we reaffirm the 2013-14 balanced school year calendar.
Beth, would like to second that,
I will
please?
second that.
Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Paul, did you have anything else you needed to talk about before we adjourn the meeting?
No, but we will have a Board of Finance meeting. It's a requirement by law, and it's about a 2-minute meeting that we'll have at the end, but it's just procedural, and they put this in 2 years ago, so we'll have that short meeting once we conclude the official meeting tonight. Oh, I did have some other comments. And I thought, thank you for bringing that up. You know, we're constantly striving to improve communication. Our website is has made leaps and bounds in what we're trying to communicate. Colleen Bogert did a really good job with that. Now Melody's taken it over, and Robin is tweeting, we're Facebooking. We got a lot of response when we had the crisis that took place on the East Coast. We had a lot of parents, getting on our webpage and asking questions and things like that. And it's been very, very positive for us. But we really need to take it to the next level. There's a lot of information that goes out there that you hear people say, whether it's sitting at, I sit at basketball and volleyball games, and I hear parents talk about things, and I kind of want to jump in and say, well, that's not really accurate. And I think we need to take advantage of our social media a little bit better. So I talked to Melody yesterday, and here in the next week or two, we're going to put back up Kaiser Comments information. We're trying to think of a witty name for it. So if not message from the big guy or whatever, but we've got to enhance communicating with their parents. There's a rumor out there that we've moved money from the referendum to here. There's absolutely no truth to that. There's no advantage of moving money out of the referendum. You want it in the referendum fund. So Brian has given me the referendum expenditures for 10, 11, and 12. I'm going to get those in an Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to get it out there on our website so people can respond to it. So as we hear rumors in the community, and most of them are probably not factual, but we want to make sure we get that message out. And what's really good, and we'll send an email out to parents saying, okay, there's information been posted on Kaiser's Comments and information. Please look at it and review. We've had discussion about school uniforms. And so when we get to that point, we'll put that information out under the superintendent's heading, put a survey there. When we put the information out about the balanced calendar survey, we'll do it through the Kaiser's Comments and area, and people have to put their name on it. And if it's a good question, we'll put that question out there and even get more response from parents. We want that feedback in a positive, professional way. And I just want to emphasize, anytime my email's there, I think, I don't know how many people have my cell number. If issues come up, please call me. If it's a building issue, talk to the principal. And once you've done that, give a call, come in. Mrs. Probus and I are meeting with a parent tomorrow morning to try to solve an issue, and we want to communicate. And I think we've got to take the lead on that, and I've got to do a better job. So here in the next 2 weeks, whatever witty name, well, we even have a contest on what we name it, I don't know. But we're going to start getting positive information out there and correct data out to our community, and we want them to go to that and constantly look and say, hey, what about this? And be able to ask questions of me. And some people can't come in to meet, but at least they can send an email and have an open forum. So we're going to be working on that here in the next week or two, and we'll have the referendum data up there. We'll have our tax levy information that we think people need to know. We're dropping tremendous in our tax levies, and we got to get that information out. So we'll be doing that through our website here shortly. So Melody, any other comments on that?
No, just the community should also know on the website that under there is a tab for Contact Us, and you can always make a website submission. And as many of the principals know, I always send those comments to them when they need that answer. So that's another way to do it before we get these other things in place. But they do have that as a way to contact us and get it through, and then it's always passed along to the appropriate person.
Anybody have any other comments, questions, concerns? All right, then I need somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
Is that going to be my new job?
Yes.
It could be. Do you want that?
I guess. I motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Nancy. Tim, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night. So we need a motion to open the meeting,
I motion
the finance meeting.
meeting for the finance, Board of Finance.
Who would like to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Open the meeting. Nancy. Okay, now we need a motion to elect a president of the Board of Finance.
I move we elect the same officers for Board of Finance as our regular Board of Trustees officers.
Can we do that?
Candace, President, Tim Luttrell, Vice President, Nancy Mosley, Secretary.
Yeah. And who would like to second any or all of those?
I will second all of them.
Tammy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then we need to, do we need to talk about this
Yeah,
investment
let's
report?
conduct business for a second,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Let's do that.
All right, so I will, with a Board of Finance committee as established, I'll just let you know that the concept of it, it really is important. If for some reason I want to have some conversation about where our dollars are, where our dollars have been, or how the State Board of Accounts looks at our dollars when we invest, it's really any excess cash balance, such as a rainy day fund or a construction fund. We have a couple of little funds here and there that that the state of Indiana, either the Department of Education or the Bank of New York Mellon, it may hold dollars in escrow for us. And at times, those become available. Sometimes they have a very specific purpose. Other times they might have well, this was all used for the right purpose, and now you have this umbrella you can use some dollars for. So this is a committee that can meet after the board meeting at any month that we meet, and I might request the president to call an action, that we meet. And then at that meeting, I would do this. I would recommend to you, we have money, we want to move it here or there, and we did that last year one time. And I moved money about February, somewhere around there, through Brian. Tom, Michael, and I decided that it would be best to get it out of our cash flow, because if you have $1 million and it's in a regular bank account, you get feed to death. You've seen the commercials, right? Yes. Well, we were getting feed to death, and so we were all worried about that, so we moved it out. But when we got to November, we had used up all of our other available cash that we had receipted during the year, and we needed to move it back into the bank account, and so we receipted it in December, and I came to you and asked for that to happen. So currently, we have money in a construction fund that we're finishing up. Common School Loan Construction Fund, right? We have money in a Common School Technology Fund that we're finishing up. Both of those, I think, will be liquidated by June 30th. We have no money that is rainy day or is considered a bond severance dollar, because I utilized both of those funds to place money into some bond-rated kind of a money market account. I brought that back into Fifth Third Bank, back into our accounts, so that money is no longer on deposit. So we have 2 available deposits that we are finishing kind of the spending according to the rules. And just for future reference, if I did ever determine that we have some dollars and we thought, we have a reason why we want to move it, we would always come to the next. We might talk about it in the Board of Finance, and then the following meeting, we would have a motion to approve, and then we would actually move the dollars. And by State Board of Accounts rules and the laws of Indiana, you can't move them into the market. You can't go and invest in risky things. You can't go buy lottery tickets. You can't gamble with them. They're going to go into a money market, FDIC insured account, and by law that has to happen. And he's responsible for making sure that we don't recommend and allow for that to occur. Am I right? Yeah. And he is, and he took an oath, and he's bonded. Brian Michael's bonded, and so he follows all those laws. So,
Can you tell us how much money we're talking about?
the construction fund started out around $900,000, and now we're ready to. We did the science edition, and so we've been spending it on steel and concrete and blinds, and so now we're just finishing it up. So I would say we're $30,000 maybe.
That's about 50.
Oh, we're up at 50. Well, we have a bill to pay, so we'll be down to 30 soon. So. And then I think the Common School Technology Fund is pretty low as well. So we're down to $9 grand. So we're ready to liquidate that one too. So as far as money on deposit, we don't have available cash just to be moving, and interest rates are not good. So the actual action that we might have done back in the 90s and early 2000s to move money places to actually generate income isn't really a vehicle for us anymore. Interest rates are so low that everybody is actually refinancing their homes and mortgages and doing all that in a way to get money versus actually taking money and putting it on deposit. So I don't anticipate any movement, and I really, unless we had come across a revenue stream or a dollar figure, I don't anticipate coming to you in the near future. And it's been a year, almost a year, and we moved, what, $750,000, I think, last February. And I guess 750 in one and 400 in another, didn't we? We had over $1 million we moved a year ago.
We had 1.1 of rainy day at Huntington, and we had about 600,000 of the pension.
The
at
size.
Huntington.
Right.
Brought back into this.
To give you an idea, if you look back on the history of our revenue, we used to bring in $200,000 a year in interest from banks. Income. And now we bring in about 10. The rates have dropped and the cash flow with the property tax caps and things like this. I mean, we're solvent today, but there's not a lot of money to move around. So, but we'll spend some more time in the work session talking about where we are and where we need to go. But the process of the Board of Finance, it's something formal, so we do like we have a general discussion of WordCast. That's what they want you to do with your board. So that's kind of what we did.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Can we make a motion to receive the investment report for the school system?
So moved.
Who second that for us?
We'll second that.
Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Are we done, or do we have more that we need to talk
I
about?
think we're good. We have a work session, and I'll try to get through that quickly.
Yeah.
Does that mean you need to be adjourned?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the Board of Finance meeting.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, adjourned.